My name is Assael. I'm the Director of Operations and the Camp Director for Ken Chertow Wrestling. And in this tape, we're going to focus on bottom. We're going to concentrate on the stand-up. We're going to concentrate on the things you can do to make the stand-up more effective for yourself or for your team. And we're also going to go into some other things when the stand-up's not working, including knee slides. We're going to cover basing to get to a position of strength where you're able to attack from the bottom. And we're also going to cover defending the chop and some other common problems off the bottom. I think we all know that when we get set on the bottom, we got to keep the weight off our hands. One thing that'll really help your athletes is if you hunch your back, and when you set your hands, you try to get the majority of the weight, which there's not a lot of weight, on your pinkies. The other thing that's really important is you want to turn your hands out a little bit. I see a lot of kids, they'll have their hands going straight or even in. As my hands come in, that gap gets greater. As my hands go out, that gap gets smaller. And if you're going to try to seal off and keep that guy from getting underneath you, it really does help to turn your hands a little bit. The other thing we all know that's essential on bottom is to create back pressure. Since Eric, my partner, is going to be the side, one thing that's going to help me is to step to the side. If I come straight back, I'm not going to get great back pressure, but if I step to the side, and that doesn't matter if you inside leg or outside leg stand up, whether you step with your left or right leg, as long as he's on this side, if I step in here, you're going to get better back pressure. And then the other thing that I think that's really overlooked on bottom is controlling your height. We all talk about pressure back. If my head's going straight up at the ceiling, I'm not pressuring back, I'm going forward. And I see a lot of kids, jump on for a second please, that they're coming up. The problem with that is I'm coming up, he's driving me forward. Now I got weight on my hands, and we all know that's a problem, and then your kids are fighting from there. So you really want to control your height, you really want to drive back, and one thing that I think helps is to just keep in mind that if the height of your first step is your final height, you're going to get great pressure back. So I'm here, you're on, height of my first step's my height, he's pushing into me here, much easier to cut off. If I keep coming up, 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 he's going to drive me forward. So I think when you set your hands, you're turning them out a little bit. That's going to seal that off. You're going to try to get your elbow to your hip. And again, there's a lot of philosophy. Some people like to try to come here and catch. Other people kind of come in here and fight. If we're operating under the philosophy that we want to seal off and get hand control, which I think is the best, that's what I'm looking to do. I turn my hands out. I seal off. Really important I don't come here. He's going to get inside me. Once he's inside, he's either going to my wrist, he's going to a claw. He can do a lot of things to me here that I don't want him to do. So I'm sealing off. When I get hand control, see, some kids will go for a wrist. The problem with that, he's still active with that hand. If I can get his knuckles, I've got a lot better hand control. So again, we all know the fundamentals of the stand-up, but if we try to do things a little bit better, turn our hands a little bit out, seal off a little bit tighter, get fingers, and again, controlling your height is essential. I'm going to bring Hayden out here for 1 second. Hayden's going to go down, Eric's going to go on top. If you watch Hayden stand up, he's going to control his height. The height of his first step is going to be his height, and then he's going to cut off. Very good. Other man down. Same thing. Eric's going to stand up. He's really going to maintain his height. And if you notice both times, the guy on the bottom drove their partner back. And again, if you see your kids' heads are going straight to the ceiling, they're not pressuring back. They're not going back if you see their head going to the ceiling. Obviously, jump on top, Eric. Obviously, my head's going up because I'm rising, but I can't go straight up. So everything's coming